prison. Woo! And I am here at Hope for Prisoners. I'm hoping to get some help with some job training, some schooling. Just really see what this place has to offer. I just ran into this girl I knew in prison, and I guess she's graduating this program today.
I want to thank Jon Ponder for changing my life. He's given me hope when I didn't have none, and I appreciate all that this program has done for me. I definitely advise you to come into this program. Jon just got off paper like last year.
Did he really?
Yes.
My name is Jon Ponder. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Hope for Prisoners. And what Hope for Prisoners is a reentry program that works with men, women, and young adults that are coming out of every arena of the judicial system. You know, I have a gigantic passion for what it is that I do because I'm an ex-offender myself. I've been doing time for a very, very long time. What my passion is today is to help other men and women who are navigating those same challenges, you know, overcome those obstacles to help them be as successful as we possibly can. And I'd be very open to you guys following her throughout this whole journey. Invite you into our world so you can be able to see those processes, and we'll do everything we can to get you up and running.
That sounds
Would that
great.
work?
He wants me to come down here Tuesday, and I'm pretty excited and feel really hopeful. I started tattooing when I was in prison, and I've always loved to draw, and I am an artist. I've done about 8 or 9 tattoos on myself by hand. And what by hand means is that we don't actually have tattoo equipment, so we use things like sewing needles or staples and single poking, so by hand it takes a very, very long time. One of the first things that I would like to do is get this tattoo fixed on my arm. When you're doing tattoos in this area by hand, it's very painful, so I chose to wait to finish it. So. Ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm normally a trooper, but I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, it's okay though. It's all right.
So I never really felt wanted or loved, and I left home at age 12, and pretty much looking for that, looking for love. And quickly after that, I began using drugs. And when I started using, I felt a sense of belonging, and I guess because the people I was using with accepted me for that specific reason. By the time I was 13, I had nowhere to live, and I met this guy. He was about 31 years old, and he took me in, and he was a drug dealer. We used every day together. I had a child by this man when I was 15 years old. I had my daughter when I was 17. When I got pregnant with my daughter, I had quit using, and I stayed sober throughout my whole pregnancy with her. And after I had my daughter, I stayed sober for a few months. One night I relapsed with my stepfather, and by the end of the night we were arguing, and CPS got called. And of course, when CPS showed up, I lied about being under the influence, and when I drug tested, that is the reason they took my children from me. And I went straight to a drug dealer's house and began injecting crystal meth for the first time. Losing my children really, I felt like I died inside. The only thing that took that pain away was when I was under the influence. After I lost them, it only took me 6 to 8 months later before I caught my case and was incarcerated. I was fighting a 25 to life sentence originally. In the state of Nevada, you have a 14-month time to complete a case plan, and because I was unable to do that, they terminated my parental rights. Both my children were adopted, and my daughter actually just turned 6 on Friday. And my son is 7 years old now, and I haven't seen either one of them since the day they took them from me. The pain from losing your children never, ever, ever goes away, never. And I guess once you accept it, you learn how to live with it, and every day gets a little bit easier. I am hopeful to see my children one day. When I just got out of prison, and I'm going to work really, really hard on getting my life together. And once I have something to show of myself, I do plan on going before a judge to try to get some type of visitation. And if I'm unsuccessful with that, it's not going to stop me. I'm not going to stop there. I promised myself about 4 years ago that I will never let my children find me worse off than when I left them.
Before I went to prison, MySpace had just came out, and I didn't even have enough time to even get on it. And so now, after all these years, I remember somebody had told me, hey, when you get out, Facebook me. And I was like, Facebook? What is she talking about?
Look at that. Oh, I'm happy. I feel great. I'm so happy. I'm excited. I think that's my best looking tattoo yet.
I have not let my situations, my environment, and this trauma that I've experienced ruin who I am. I made a decision to become stronger and use it to grow. And if I can do it, I know that anybody else can.
You know, my drug addiction, it led into, me stealing for the money.
I lost years of my life in the penitentiary because I associated being humble with weakness.
In November, Jamie's going up to Carson City to appear at the Pardons Board. Probably a one-shot deal.